You ever have one of those moments where the universe just decides you're the test case for every bad rule, every overzealous neighbor, every bit of petty authority you can imagine? Yeah, that happened to me. And the punchline? The HOA president hit me with a fine that could run up to $1 million. All because of a wheelchair ramp I built myself, using my own engineering know-how, after years of struggling just to get in and out of the house my grandpa left me. Her excuse? Just following procedure. You know what was official that day? The court order sitting in my lap, telling her little empire it was over. But let me back up a sec. My name's Hank Mercer. My legs don't work, haven't for years, but my brain's just fine, thanks. Engineer's brain, to be exact. I like problems, and more than that, I like solving them. Life threw a big one at me, and the solution was this wheelchair, a tricked-out van, and the old house where I figured I'd live out my days in peace. My dog Daisy, golden retriever, best service dog you'll ever meet, she was my shadow. I had projects in the garage, some coffee on the porch in the morning. Life was good. Then Karen George showed up, newly elected HOA president. And if there was a code, she quoted it. If there was a line, she enforced it. She looked at my solutions, my ramp, my van, my little security upgrades, and saw violations. Me? I saw someone itching to test the limits of what an engineer could do under pressure. First shot fired. Tuesday morning, envelope under the wiper of my van. Sun's out, birds are doing their thing, Daisy's wagging at my side. I just finished my coffee, rolled down the ramp I designed myself. Aircraft-grade aluminum, non-slip treads, motion lights, the works. It wasn't just code compliant, it was safer than any regulation demanded, and I'd run the numbers on it for a month before I even started ordering parts. Inside that envelope, unapproved architectural modification. Fine, $500. Special assessment, Karen called it. Stack enough of those and, according to the threat sheet, you're talking $1 million. It was a joke, but the point was to scare me. Next day, new letter, this time, taped to the front door. Something about my van being a commercial vehicle not allowed in the driveway. Which is funny, since state law protects accessible parking and the plates are disability tags, conveniently cropped out in her attached photo. Another $500. This wasn't enforcement. It was targeted harassment. But engineers don't panic. We document. So I started my little HOA folder on the computer. High-res photos, measurements, videos of the ramp, the van, every angle. 2 days later, another fine, now for the security system I installed after a string of break-ins, fully permitted by the city. She called it an unauthorized fence, $500 more. You see the pattern, right? It's not about the rules. It's about making me a problem to be solved, rather than a neighbor to be respected. I called my grandpa. Old school, not a fan of bureaucrats. Some people, you give them a little power, it's like handing a toddler a hammer. Don't let her smash you. Be smarter. So that's what I did. I started gathering data. I needed to understand the system before I could dismantle it. That's when Tom came in, 2 doors down, retired air traffic controller, garage full of antennas and radio gear, knows everything that happens on our street. He's the guy you want as your ally. I rolled over, Daisy trotting along, and asked him about Karen. He grinned, called her Queen Karen. Turns out, she did patrols, 3 times a day, always on her golf cart, always with a clipboard. Routine, patterns, predictability. Beautiful words to an engineer. I set up a little camera on my wheelchair, just a tiny thing, barely noticeable. Waited for her midday patrol, sitting at the end of my driveway, pretending to fuss with a wheel. On cue, here comes Karen, parking her golf cart so it blocks the sidewalk. Not a minor inconvenience, an actual ADA violation, right in front of me. She tried the, we need to talk about your fines routine. I kept calm. Your fines are baseless. My ramp is for access. My van's legal. My security system's permitted. She wasn't used to being challenged. You are not special, she snapped. It's about access, Karen. Right now, you're blocking mine. I made sure my camera got her refusal to move, her denial of my rights, her smug little power trip. It was perfect. Added the footage to my growing pile of evidence. I had the fines, the photos, the police reports, and now a textbook civil rights violation on tape. Karen thought she was in control. She thought her rulebook gave her power. But I had patience, data, and, most importantly, a plan. I didn't have to wait long for the escalation. One night, About a week after the sidewalk showdown, I was jolted awake by every floodlight in my yard firing up, siren blaring like the end times. Daisy pressed against me, nervous. I kept low, scanned the yard, saw a shadow by the roses. Someone had cut my perimeter wire. A clean, deliberate job, not wear and tear. Officer Ruiz responded, professional, thorough. We walked the property. He confirmed what I already knew. This was vandalism. I gave him the rundown, fines, harassment, the confrontation. He documented everything, gave me a case number, said the prior harassment established a motive. This wasn't just petty anymore. This was criminal. And then Tom, bless that guy, sent over drone footage. Thermal camera caught the culprit slinking off my property, heading toward Karen's place. Couldn't make a positive ID, but it was close enough for me. Now I had the pattern, the motive, and a timeline. The final piece was motive. Why this relentless campaign against me? I started digging through my grandpa's files. Old deeds, surveys, a yellow document at the bottom. Land lease agreement, 1985. Turns out, the HOA's community center was built on land my grandpa owned and leased to the HOA for $1 a year. The lease had strict clauses. Keep the peace, follow all laws, especially federal laws. The ADA is federal law. Harassment and destruction of property, both violations. Suddenly, the battlefield had changed. I wasn't just a resident anymore. I was their landlord. With Mark, my lawyer, veteran, sharp, no nonsense, we built the case. We filed a formal ADA complaint with the Department of Justice. Mark drafted a notice to cure or quit for the HOA. Drop the fines, apologize, fire Karen, or get evicted from the community center. She got served right in the middle of the HOA's monthly meeting, front row, Tom watching the show. Karen's face when she read the first line? Priceless. Predictably, she did nothing. 30 days ticked by, no apology, no resignation, no fines dropped. So Mark filed the eviction. We went to court. Her lawyer tried the old, eyesore, argument, tried to paint me as a troublemaker, ignored the lease. Mark brought the deed and lease, laid out every violation, played the sidewalk footage, showed the police report, the fines, the forged notary stamp on Karen's phony petition. The judge saw it for what it was. The lease is binding. The tenant has failed. The landlord has followed the rules. Bang. Writ of possession. The HOA had 48 hours to vacate. Karen looked like she'd swallowed a cactus. But you could see it. Humiliation turned into something meaner. And of course, she wasn't done. She refused to leave the building. The annual summer festival rolled around, and there she was, playing queen of the neighborhood. That's when we showed up. Me, Mark, 2 sheriff's deputies, official writ in hand. Right at the peak of the festival. Karen tried to block us, yelling, "You're trespassing." The deputies stepped up. "We're not here for him. We're here for the property. Time to go." The whole street saw it. The deputies cleared the building, handed me the keys, locked the doors, and taped the writ to the entrance. Karen, red-faced, called me a thief, a liar, accused the deputies of being my goons. But everyone just saw a woman screaming at the law, stripped of her power. The party was over, and so was her reign. But you want a twist? Karen doubled down, launched a fake petition, forged notary stamps, stalked me in her golf cart, trying to bait me into a confrontation. But I had cameras rolling, and Tom's antennas caught everything. Mark's research proved half the signatures were fake or tricked out of people under false pretenses. The notary was out of state. The seal was a forgery. The DA got wind of it, and now we're talking real charges. Forgery, fraud, harassment, stalking. We had a choice. Press charges, or use this as leverage to end the HOA for good. My grandpa's voice echoed, "Be smarter." So we called an emergency meeting, invoked the dissolution clause buried deep in the bylaws. All it took was a majority vote from the homeowners. The meeting at the library was packed, neighbors, angry, fed up, ready for change. I was nominated to chair the meeting, presented the evidence, the fake petition, the drone footage, the sworn statements, the lease. One by one, folks told their stories, petty fines, threats, kids harassed for playing. Karen tried to shout everyone down, but the room had turned. When it came time to vote, hands went up across the room. Overwhelming majority. The HOA was dissolved. The next morning, the neighborhood felt lighter. No more warning letters, no more golf cart patrols. The old signs came down, folks started talking and helping each other out again. The community center became a real hub, tool lending library, yoga classes, potlucks, no fines, just respect. Daisy and I take walks, neighbors wave. Officer Ruiz stops by sometimes, says rookies study our case. And Karen? She moved away after the charges stuck. Couldn't stand being just another neighbor. She had to send out apology letters as part of her deal. Mine was short, forced, but hey, it was something. Funny how it all started with a ramp. One problem, one solution, and the will to stand your ground. I didn't set out to start a revolution, but I guess that's how these things happen. Bad system, bad actors. You take it apart, build something better. That's how an engineer does it. Now, the ramp stays, the doors are open, and the keys. Well, they're mine, but really, they're for everyone. But let me ask you, where do you draw the line between keeping order and becoming the problem yourself? Was I right to fight back the way I did? Or was Karen just a symptom of a system designed to go wrong? Drop your thoughts below, and hey, if you've got your own HOA horror story, let's hear it. Maybe together, we'll finally figure out what makes a real community work.